All right, let's talk some New York Giants. This was, a disappointing end of the season, I think, for the Giants, who, again, had a very good season. This worked out very well for them, way exceeded expectations. No one had them winning a playoff game, getting to the divisional round, but things did not go very well in this game. No getting around that. This is going to be a video talking about the offense and what the offense failed to do against the Eagles, why the Eagles defense was able to dominate them so much. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start off with this play. A lot got made of the 4th down and 8 decision. Let's talk about the play right before it, where it was a 3rd down and 3. You see it's man coverage, and this is what was just an issue for the Giants in their passing game in a big way, where, so man coverage, got to get someone to win one-on-one, right? But also, you got to block the Eagles who, they can definitely generate pressure. Right when this play begins, you're going to see that right here. Couple things to note. You have Evan Neal working on Hassan Reddick, and, not going so well. Reddick is generating some pressure from behind, but Neal did at least enough to push Reddick behind Jones, which typically is okay. Jones can just step up in the pocket, but you also have pressure coming from the other side, which that usually doesn't happen, as Andrew Thomas is usually pretty sure being able to make the block. Also worth mentioning, yes, coverage appears to be good, but this is relatively early on to the play. We are under that 2.5-second mark that I always talk about. So if you can get pressure then, typically you're going to get pressure before they really have an opportunity to make a play unless the first read was open. Watch as Jones ends up slipping over Thomas's feet because he had to step up and there was pressure in that area. So again, getting pressure in multiple different areas in under 2.5 seconds, yeah, that's going to get the job done, especially when no one else was able to get open quickly because you were playing man coverage there. So no one gets open quickly, just a, great combination. Then this play would happen. It would be the former Giant taking advantage of a throw from Daniel Jones. Although I kind of, people are getting on Jones for it. Again, I always see what the quarterback is doing typically when these interceptions happen. I always feel like it's kind of one of those like, okay, it didn't work out, but the worst case scenario happened type of plays. That's definitely what happened here, I thought, were, okay, simple play, right? Simple play. Very few things can go wrong. Just trying to, it's quarters coverage, throw one underneath in a gap in coverage, pick up a few yards, right? Simple play. What could go wrong? Jones takes the snap, and he's going to look, and right here, you see that there is an opening. What's interesting, though, is that, a lot of times what makes these plays difficult will be the players who are covering over the middle of the field. This time, it is James Bradberry who... Bradberry's just jumping this route. Bradberry just assumes that this is what's happening, and he's going to try and get in front of it. But still, even at this point, I don't know, you're at a situation where if you're Daniel Jones, Bradberry's pretty far off in this spot. I kind of feel like this is a relatively safe throw to make. Typically, the issue is just Bradberry's so good at coming in on these plays. That's kind of the thing. It's like, it's not a matter of really the players and where they're at. It's kind of who they are sometimes. And, if it's James Bradberry, probably not the right move to make this throw. Also, he doesn't really fire it in there with enough urgency, I would say, which added to the fact of allowing that to be an interception. So I understood what he was trying to do there, but definitely some mistakes involved leading to an interception, which was obviously not ideal. He also had some plays like this where it's going to be a man coverage play once again on a 3rd down and 1. So, okay, 3rd down and 1 here. Key play. Would like to get some points at the end of the half. You're down 28, so got some work to do. But watch that guy right there for Philadelphia, as they're showing as though they could be blitzing with 5 guys at the line. One is going to drop back into coverage, so it is not a blitz. But I don't really know exactly what happens here. I don't get why they don't pick him up. Watch as they just let him completely go by, and now he has a straight shot towards Daniel Jones here. I don't know what happened there. Again, it was on Andrew Thomas's side. He blocked an interior defensive lineman, but there was no help on that side. There was no halfback towards him, and I don't know. The center was moving towards his right, but you had a guard who could block the interior defensive lineman. The issue was since someone dropped back into coverage, the guard was blocking the guy who dropped back into coverage. Thomas is blocking the interior defensive lineman. So really there should have been a halfback on that side of the field if your center is blocking towards the right. Honestly, I would put this on Daniel Jones would be the guy I'd put it on, as I think that he should have set his blocking a little bit better early on. It was a mistake by him, which now creates pressure. And, again, you could still be okay. We're actually well into this play. We are over 3.5 seconds into this play. So for Daniel Jones, well, yes, you screwed up the pressure. You still ended up having time to make a throw here. You'd have to make it off balance. It'd be tough, but you have time. The issue is there's no one to throw to. So because of that, he has to just tossed the ball away, which is, again, kind of what you want in a defense, right? A defense that's not letting anyone get open and also getting pressure quickly. I mean, if you're getting those two things, it's going to be hard to pass the ball effectively. It just is. Like, this play is another good example of, again, Eagles playing a lot of man coverage in this game. They're going to play man coverage here. It's 3rd down and 11, so it's a tough spot, right? I mean, one of the reasons why you see a lot of sacks happen on 3rd downs is because quarterbacks hold on to the football for a little bit longer as they're hoping for something to get open, and because they hold on to it for a little bit longer, that's when that gives the time for the pressure to come. But watch how when this play begins, I'm once again going to let it play for over 3.5 seconds. And again, if you follow this channel, you know that kind of, what I always say is the 2.5 second mark. That's typically when you have. That's what you have. 2.5 seconds. That's when a play has to happen. Unless you do something where you have like a play action or some way to get a little bit of extra time, like a rollout or something. On a traditional drop back pass, 2.5 seconds is what you have. You get 3.5 seconds here, but Daniel Jones still isn't firing it because there's nowhere really to go. Watch as you see he eventually is going to get pushed back, looks downfield, still doesn't love what he sees, so just tosses the ball away. Couldn't show the end there. It can only show it for so long before a copyright claim happens, so I have to make it short. But he just threw the ball away there because there was still nothing open. So that's coverage coming through. Coverage is, obviously so important in the NFL and so important on these types of plays. And, again, especially when they have a good pass rush. But even when they were blocking well, still not able to really effectively move the ball, and why they weren't able to score until about, 38 minutes into the game. One last play is this one, which kind of encapsulates the game a little bit, which is like, listen, you're playing the Eagles. It's going to be tough. You were able to get a touchdown drive. I felt like if they scored here, there was still maybe some hope. It would have been tough, but hey, 10 minutes left, down 2 scores. That crazier things have happened. Obviously, you would need, you need 3 touchdowns. You're in a tough spot on this 3rd and 6. It's going to be zone coverage this time that the Eagles are in, and this time it's Darius Slayton who Jones is looking towards. And again, you can see how this play could work, right? If you get underneath the safety, there could be a potential window, or excuse me, underneath the corner, it's going to be Darius Slay there, could be a window to make the throw. Right when this play begins, you're going to see that, okay, a little bit of contact, but Slayton is trying to get in position to, give Jones a little bit of a window. Part of me wonders if Jones is expecting Slayton to stop right at the 1st down marker, whereas as you see, Slayton ends up stepping a little bit past it, ball goes behind him, and it falls incomplete just like that. That little bit, that's really all they needed. That's all that they needed to be able to, for the play to be incomplete. And, again, a little bit of a slip up, and at the end of the day, kind of, I think, an encapsulation of this game of, like, they probably needed to be perfect to beat the Eagles. You have to be really good to make this stuff happen, and it just weren't perfect. They still had their moments, but it was tough for them all night. That's really the reality of the situation, and it's a credit Philadelphia. Again, no one had the Giants making it this far. No one thought heading into the season the Giants would win a playoff game. It's an incredible job by them to get to this spot, but the Eagles tonight, they were just better. No getting around it. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.